Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Newmarket Racecourse here on Friday. It is the 5th of May, 2023. Going to look at all the stakes races on the program from Newmarket here on Guineas weekend. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Let's look at the stakes action. The first, the second, the third, the fifth. So the 115, the 150, the 225, and the 335. Let's get to it right now before I go any further. I think you know already, but make sure you check out my Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby preview. But let's look at the first race, the 115, which is the Newmarket Stakes. It's a listed stakes for Class 1 horses going for a $60,000 purse. Races for 3-year-olds here. Field of 8 horses going 2,000 meters or a mile and a quarter on the turf course. I guess this is a Derby prep race, but the next week we have a great Derby prep race, one of my favorites at Linkfield, and also the week after you have the Dante from York, so can't wait for that. But my top selection here, I'm going to go with the 2-horse Circle of Fire. Let's go 271 in your TriCast trifecta. 271 TriCast trifecta, top selection 2-horse Circle of Fire. They were called by Almanzor here. Sir Michael Stout trains. Ryan Moore gets the mount. The horse's most recent appearance came the 1st of September at Salisbury. 1 mile in a Class 4 novice race, and the horse went by 3 1/4 lengths that day, and he improved majorly off the debut. He settled well towards the back of the pack. He slowly moved his way up. When he got to the front end, he quickened up, and he got the job done, even with the high weight. He wanted the longer trip, and he got it. He's going to a mile and a quarter in his 3-year-old debut today, which I think he should absolutely adore, and I think he's sitting on a very good race to get to the winner's circle first here today. 2 back, he ran at Leicester on the 7th of August, 7 furlongs in a Class 4 novice race. He finished 3rd by 5 lengths that day. He moved a little bit too late that day. He was plodding along decently, but he wanted more ground. You know, it just wasn't his day there, but he, like I said, he preferred the longer trip next day out. Go a mile and a quarter today should be even better. Mile and a half in the future, probably tenfold better. But coming here today, I think at 6 to 1, he could get a piece of it. We'll use him here. Place pot's horse would be the 7-horse Victory Dance, the other Godolphin here for James Doyle and Charlie Appleby. Most recently in the Group 3 Tattersall Stakes here in the fall over the 7 furlongs. He finished 3rd by 4 1/4 lengths. And again, he never weakened out of it. He wanted more ground. He's getting 3 more furlongs off that race, which I think should suit him well, and I think he can win. He was a winner 2 back at Leicester at Newbury in a 7 furlong listed stakes, 1 by 1 1/4 lengths. He basically won for fun in a trot. A very good race there. And then the superlative here at Newmarket over the July course in July. He finished 2nd by Isaac Shelby that day, and he just missed late, but he ran a terrific race on the front end. Coming here today, he could also win. I'll use him on the place pot. But to recount my selection for the first, a 115 from Newmarket, it is the Newmarket Stakes. Let's take this 2-horse Circle of Fire. Give kudos to the 7-horse Victory Dance. 271 TriCast trifecta. 27 in your place pot. The second race, the 150, it is the Group 2 BET365 Mile. It's a Group 2 event for Class 1 horses going for a $96,000 purse. Race 4-year-olds and upwards. 5 horses are going 1,600 meters or a mile over the Rolly Mile turf course. Rescheduled race from last Friday's card from Sandown because it was rained out. So they'll be running it here today. I thought last Friday the race was just a little bit better this year. You got a better horse here this week, but last week was a better betting race. I think your likeliest winner this week is the 5-horse Native Trail. I'm going to go 5-4-1 in your TriCast trifecta. 5-4-1 TriCast trifecta. Top selection would be the 5-horse Native Trail. 4 Colt by Wasted Dream. Godolphin Doan. Charlie Appleby trains. William Buick gets to mount. Horse hasn't been seen since the Group 1 Juddmonte International at York. Mile and a quarter on the 17th of August. He finished 5th by 14 lengths that day and just wasn't getting into it. He got beat by proper Group 1 quality horses over the 2000. Refreshing to a mile trip against, it's a Group 2, but these could be listed stakes quality horses he's facing. He should run a very good race, and I think he could find the winner's circle here today. 2 back in the Group 1 Coral Clips at Sandown, a mile and a quarter on the 2nd of July. First time facing older horses, he finished 3rd by neck, and he was all out that day. He just missed Mashirif and Bandini late, but he stayed the trip well. Nothing bad about that run. First time older horses. He probably ran one of the best races of his life. And then prior to that, in the Group 1 Irish 2000 Guineas at Curra, 21st of May over the mile. He won by 1 3/4 lengths that day. Had the speed from the inside. He quickened up, and he got the job done. A very good race there. And he ran a terrific race behind Corabas in the 2000 Guineas last year here in Newmarket. He just missed missed. He finished second by 3/4 length, and he just couldn't keep up on the stand side. Corbus had a great trip on the inside, but this horse, he ran his heart out there, and then he went over the Craven here in last April quite nicely. He likes the course here. He's a Group 1 winner by winning the Dewhurst as a 2-year-old here at 83 cents a dollar. Coming back here, 6-5. I know he's a shit price, but he's a very likely winner. A single in the multis for me. To recap my selection for the second, the 150 from Newmarket's to Group 2, BET365 Mile. We're going to take the 5-horse Native Trail, 5-4-1 Tri-Cash Trifecta, single the 5 in the multi-race. Third race, the 225. It is the King Charles II Stakes. It's a listed stakes for Class 1 horses going for a $60,000 purse. We have a field of 8 3-year-olds going the distance of ground is 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the Rolling Mile. I'm going to take the 4-horse here, Majestic Pride, 4-1-2 in your Tri-Cash Trifecta. 4-1-2 Tri-Cash Trifecta, top selection of 4-horse Majestic Pride. Throw a call by Charmadal here. Charlie Appleby trains. William Buick gets to mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 18th of April in Newmarket. 7 furlongs in a Class 2 conditions race, and he won by a neck that day. Had to be used a lot on the demanding ground, but he settled well, he quickened up. Like I said, he had to be used a lot, but he got the job done. Refreshing second off the bench would be a lot fresher. It's drawn on the stand side, which wasn't bad during the Craven meeting, I noticed. He should get a good trip and win. 2 back at Chelmsford, 17th of November, 7 furlongs in a Class 3 novice. He won by 2.5 lengths that day, and he settled well towards the front of the pack. He quickened up, 25 cents to the dollar. He was supposed to win, and he got the job done. A very good economy victory there, shall I say. And then before that, 20th of October, Newmarket, 7 furlongs in a Class 4 novice race. Down in Class 4, he finished second by 2.25 lengths that day. He was on the drive. He needed something more, but he got down the race course well. He's stepping to stakes quality horses today, not the world's deepest race. I think he could get a good trip and win. It wouldn't surprise me if the one-horse iconic moment for Ryan Moore gets the job done. Last time out at Chelmsford on the 1st of April, he didn't run very well in that conditions race where he finished 4th by 2.25 lengths that day. He just kind of hit the wall. Maybe a little bit fast mile that day they ran, but he just wasn't keeping up. But before that, he ran a terrific race in the listed stakes at Lingfield in early March, where he won by a nose all out that day, and then he won quite nicely at Chelmsford. I do think that 7 furlong trip is probably his better trip. Cutting back here, 7-2, I'll use him on the ticket, but I do prefer Majestic Pride before him. To recap my selection now for the third, the 225 from Newmarket, it is the King Charles II. Let's take the 4-horse Majestic Pride. Give kudos to the 1-horse iconic moment. 4-1-2 Tri-Cash Trifecta. 4-1 in your place pot. Let's head over to race number 5 now, the feature 335, which is the Group 2 Jockey Club Stakes. It's a Group 2 event for Class 1 horses going for a $150,000 purse, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. 5 horses are going 2,400 meters or 1.5 miles on the Rolling Mile. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 4 horse here, West Wind Blows. 4-2-3 in your Tri-Cash Trifecta. 4-2-3 Tri-Cash Trifecta. And by the way, this race goes off 5 minutes after the first race at Churchill. With me being here in New York City, in America, locally the race time is 3:35. But here, if I want to watch these races, I have to wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning, which is sometimes very, 10 o'clock I could wake up. When we get to the winter at like Cheltenham and stuff and Aintree, well, not Aintree, they don't really run in the deep winter, but when we start getting to Cheltenham and Sandown in January, where you have to wake up at for the UK post times at 12 o'clock or 11:40, I have to wake up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. That's very hard to do, but I'm going to be watching this race, especially right after the Churchill opener. But back to my selection here. I'm going to go with the 4-horse West Wind Blows. 4-2-3 for me in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 4-2-3 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection of 4-horse West Wind Blows. For a colt here, Simon and Ed Christopher trains. Jamie Spencer, the veteran, gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 1st of October at Longchamp. 1.25 miles in the Group 2 Prix d'Olaire, and he finished 3rd by 4 lengths that day. He was just a little bit flat on the very soft ground. He had a turn of foot, but it wasn't anything spectacular. Back to Newmarket here today, a little lesser quality horses. I think he'd get a trip to win. 2 back in the Group 3 Prix de Prince d'Orange at Longchamp, Monacourt, 4th of September. He won by 1.75 lengths that day, and he was all that. He settled well, he quickened up. Not the world's toughest Group 3, but he got the job done. A very good race there. And then 20th of July, Goodwood, 1.5 miles in the Group 3 Gordon Stakes. He finished 6th by 5.5 lengths that day. He sat a little bit closer on the very fast ground. He doesn't like soft ground, but he doesn't like fast ground either. He just really wasn't getting a good trip and winning there. He won before that at Hamilton in a very, lesser quality listed stakes there in July. He won by 7.5 lengths there and basically put on a show, but he wasn't facing anybody there. And the Kazoo Derby at Epsom over the mile and a half last June, finished ninth by 15 lengths. Why post drum? He just never was into it. But I think refreshing here, not the world's toughest race. The races in France weren't bad at all. I think he'd get the job done. The 2-horse Hurricane Lane is your second likeliest winner. Is a Group 1 winner, winning quite a few Group 1s in 2021. I love the performance in the St. Ledger and the Grand Prix de Paris. But since the St. Ledger, he hasn't really shown a lot. He ran a massive third after that in the Arc de Triomphe. Came back last season in the Hardwick, where he ran very disappointing in the Grand Prix de Saint Cloud. He reappeared in the surprise stakes at Newbury last time out, but he eased out of it. I'll give him another shot today, but West Wind Blows, I think he's on the up and up. If Hurricane Lane doesn't do well today, I think that might be it for a career for him. I think going to stud will be the next shot for him, but that was very disappointing last time out. He should have fired. Refreshing here, I'll give him a shot, but I have questions. To recap my selection now for the 335, the fifth race from Newmarket to Group 2 Jockey Club Stakes. Let's take the 4-horse West Wind Blows. Give kudos to the 2-horse Hurricane Lane. 4-2-3 Tricast Trifecta. 4-2 in your multi-race place pod. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 and join me tomorrow for my Kentucky Derby and 2000 Guineas preview here. Good luck, everybody.